Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we're taking a look at Playskool heroes Spider-Man and Spider-Gwen from the Marvel Superhero Adventures line. Now, if you probably noticed, if you've been collecting these like I have, it's been a real dry spell for both Star Wars and Marvel when it comes to Playskool heroes, and I'm not really sure why that is. I'm wondering if they're starting to see like diminishing returns or something like that, because there have been plenty of Marvel and Star Wars properties that they could have been making figures for, and we did see like a 5-pack for Solo, and I think we saw a 5-pack for Last Jedi. That was pretty much it on the Star Wars front. We did kind of get a 5-pack for Infinity War, but nothing for Endgame. I think there was a 2-pack for Ant-Man and the Wasp, but it was very, very sparse. It popped on Amazon for like a day and then disappeared and hasn't been in stock since. So I've kind of been hurting to find these, but this popped back in stock on Amazon for normal price, so I decided to grab it. So we get Spider-Man and Spider-Gwen here, and I was really excited to see a Spider-Gwen figure, but as you can see, it has these ridiculously translucent blue arms, and it's just them kind of continuing that weird arm thing that I don't like, but we'll get into that more in a little bit. Also has this ridiculous, like, web spiral, which really is kind of a repurposing of the weird force spiral they gave to that Kylo Ren figure from Star Wars. So I'm wondering if that's kind of recycled parts or whatnot, but so here's the 2-pack. You can see it's on card like usual, fairly open, although this one's actually fully encased in plastic. They used to kind of just be tied in there, and I'm actually a fan of this because I hate those little ties. They're so annoying to cut out. But again, it boasts that you can take the arms out and switch them around. Again, I wish if they're going to make that their gimmick, I still wish that they would include normal arms, then I would be more okay with it. But they just will swap them with other characters you have. I'm like, well, that doesn't really make sense. I would love it if they gave you like a special power set and then like a regular set. But in any case, let's go ahead. We'll get these guys out of the packaging and we'll take a closer look. So here are the two figures out of the packaging. We'll start over here with Spider-Man. Definitely one of his cool alternate costumes. I do like the design of the costume quite a bit, and I think they've adapted it here into the toy pretty well. But you can see it's just the standard Spider-Man head popped on top, and you can kind of tell because the red of the hand and the head is a little bit different than the paint used here on the body, and I think that's just because they're recycling parts from other figures. But it has the same kind of weird arm thing where it's just a solid bar across the back for the arms. No shoulder articulation whatsoever. You do get some wrist articulation, which is nice. And you have this weird spider cyclone thing going on here with his webbing. And I don't know. I don't remember him ever really doing that or why he would need to do that. Maybe, you know, it can fit around other characters. Like, let's see. I'll take the arms off of Spider-Gwen here so she'll fit. I mean, maybe that's like to trap another character or something. I guess that kind of works, and in that regard, it's kind of neat. But then his other arm has to be like that to be able to pose it forward. So if the arms were independent, I feel like maybe I'd like it more, but because they're the solid piece, it's weird. This is a gimmick that I'm assuming they did to save money. It must be more cost effective than to build in like normal shoulders. And you can switch these around. And still looks kind of goofy. I mean, these are just completely translucent, and I think these were reused from a Spider playset. Like, there was a Spider playset with Vulture that I've previously reviewed where he had some weird arms like this, so these might even just be completely reused, which is another obvious cost-saving measure. This arm has no wrist articulation, but as you can see here, this one still does. So I'll pop these back on. And I don't know why Spider-Gwen would get super translucent blue arms, but if you take this off, the rest of the figure looks fantastic. I love the paint. The pink looks sharp. The design of the spider head and the cowl there, I think, looks great. You do get some side-to-side head articulation there, and you do get a 90-degree bend in the waist, as per usual. So it's really just the arm thing. And I'm wondering if, like, this gimmick's just not really that fun, and maybe kids are picking up on it, and that's resulting in lower sales, which is kind of resulting in the fewer releases and things like that. But I wanted to bring in one of Hasbro's new Power Ranger figures, because this is kind of a return to form. They do have some of the blind bags that have the less articulated figures, but they're a cheaper price point, so I kind of understand that. But these would be about, the 2-pack here was $10, and then this guy comes out to about $5 as well, because they have 2-packs that are also $10. This guy's not from a 2-pack, but it's the same articulation as the easiest one I could grab. But so they're about the same price. They're both about $5 a piece because both 2-packs are $10. And I just feel like when you compare these directly to each other, you can see the Power Ranger one is a little bit taller. You can see that it has head articulation. It has the normal shoulders we're used to with the kind of hinge and swivel. You have wrist swivel. You have that bend at the knees, or at the waist there, rather. And I just feel like this is a return to form to what Playskool started out with when they started making these figures, and it's more closely related to Mattel Fisher-Price's Imaginext figures. And I feel like that's really what we need to get back to. So I'm hoping, since these are new, this might be Hasbro realizing that this weird gimmick is not working, and maybe if these take off and these sell well again, maybe they'll take Star Wars and Marvel back to this format, because I love these. If you guys know me at all, if you watch my channel, you know that I'm a big fan of Playskool and Imaginext. They're just adorable little figures with pretty good articulation, nice paint applications here. I love this figure. And I would have loved this figure, even if it was a little bit shorter, if it just had the normal shoulder gimmick. Even if it had this gimmick but just came with some normal looking arms or something. I don't know, it just seems like you did such a great job with the, like, everything but the arms is perfect on this figure. I think the paint applications look great. Everything about this is wonderful. It's just the fact that you clip in these goofy arms, which I mean, she wouldn't have these giant super buff arms anyway. It just looks out of place. And the fact that they're translucent blue makes no sense to me. So, I mean, even if just for, say, we switch these around and we give her, like, Spider-Man's arms, I feel like this already looks better. I mean, yes, the red looks a little bit out of place, and I still don't love this goofy gimmick, but this already looks better. So I wish they would have given her literally anything but these weird, goofy, translucent blue arms. It just looks really strange to me. And I don't know why they always have to be at, like, opposing angles. Like, one always has to be in the air while one's going forward, or else one's sticking out the back. I just don't get that. So while I'm happy they made a Spider-Gwen, because I love the character of Spider-Gwen and I think the design is awesome, I just wish they would have done her a bit more justice, but I still wanted to get this just because it's the only representation of Spider-Gwen in the Playskool line, and I'm hoping that I can find another set of arms on another character. I've seen some pictures where some people take, like, Stormtrooper arms, and the white and the black from the Stormtrooper arms actually kind of fits well with this. I don't have it handy, unfortunately. I have to track one down and look through all my bins and things for other Playskool figures, but I just think, like, with better arms, this figure could be so much more improved. So as far as this 2-pack goes, it's all right, you know, and if you really want a Spider-Gwen, then I say grab it because it's on Amazon for like $10. Just don't pay over retail for these. But I'm really hoping that the existence of these kinds of figures can somehow point Hasbro back to this level of quality for Marvel and Star Wars. Now, I know they've done a lot of Marvel and Star Wars already, and maybe that's why they felt they had to come up with the new gimmick, just because they needed something to change it up so they could reissue figures or characters they've already done, because they don't want to just keep putting out Spider-Man. Kids will eventually figure it out and stop wanting them. But there's so many Marvel characters out there that they could still do, and I just don't know why, if they're still capable of producing this style of figure, because this is a brand new toy, not even widely released yet. I got this on Amazon. I don't know why they can't apply those principles back to these characters that I also love. So that's just kind of my hope. But I know I got a bit of a rant here. At the end of the day, these figures are okay. I just still don't like that shoulder gimmick. But if you take the arms off, I think the figure you're left with looks fantastic. Really well painted and well designed. I just need to find some better arms for them. Or even if they just, like I said, included other arms that looked normal, I'd be okay with the goofy gimmick arms if they weren't all that was provided. So at the end of the day, I bought this pack mostly for Spider-Gwen because I really do like the design of that character. And with the exception of the arms, I think they did a good job here. These arms are so weird. So like I said, really hoping that Hasbro can... I mean, like I said, I hope it's not dead because we haven't seen anything, and I really just feel like, especially with Endgame, that would have been a chance to make so many characters for this line, but there's a reason they must not have taken the opportunity, because I just don't think that they're seeing the returns that they would like to with Marvel and Star Wars, which is why they've just kind of phased out. I mean, when I go to the toy aisle at Target, even Imaginext is fairly limited at this point, but I don't see any of these in the store. They have some Rescue Bots, but that's about it. I don't see any Marvel or Star Wars Playskool hero figures in stores anymore, Walmart sometimes has a few of the older ones. I still see the Infinity War 5-pack with Thanos, and that was a decent 5-pack. But again, they all had giant blasters or something affixed into their hands that you can't remove. So, I don't know. To me, that limits play for kids, I think, when you have to mold it in there. I mean, it's not a huge problem, but I just think when you give accessories that can be taken in and out, or you have hands that can move around, it just gives kids more opportunity. And for me as a collector, I just think these goofy gimmicks just kind of take you out of the aesthetic of the figure. But I know that I'm not the core audience for Hasbro when they're marketing these. I do understand that. But like I said, I just feel like if they can still do this, which they've just done it, please bring back that style of figure for Marvel and Star Wars. There's a lot of stuff you could still do. And I, for one, especially we have episode 9 for Star Wars coming out later this year, would be a great opportunity to put out some new figures in the old style of some new characters and even some old returning characters. So that's the end of my rant. At the end of the day, these figures are all right. The Spider-Gwen looks great except for the arms. The other Spider-Man is fine. I just noticed that he has the webbing, like for the normal boots, still printed on there, and they just painted over it. So that's a little bit lazy, but what are you going to do? Yeah, so that's it for these. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, thank you so much for watching.